We're here at a sunny, fingers crossed, Donington Park for round 3 of the Eastern Airways British Sidecar Championship. The weather is good, thank goodness, much better than it was for round 2, which was down there in Hampshire at the Thruxton circuit. The fast, bumpy nature of Thruxton took its toll on everybody. It was a massive test for not least of all the passengers. Even the fittest fell by the wayside. It's fair to say, however, that Tim Reeves and Tristan, his brother, continued to dominate the championship after 2 rounds, but they were given a run for their money by Sean Hegarty and Callum Lawson, who really pushed them hard all the way through the first race. It was only on the last lap that Callum Lawson tapped up his driver because he simply had had enough. That set the standard, however, for the win. But further down the order, there was a terrific 4-way scrap between Ben Holland and Lee Watson, Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett, Barry James and Aki Alto, and young Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood. Those young guns gave it their all for the podium places, and what a show they put on. It was absolutely fantastic. No question, though, about the championship leader. It's Tim Reeves sitting on top with a maximum. 2 rounds, 4 races, 100 points. You can't get better than that. Look at Mark Edwards there with Peach, just 1 point behind. Barry James flying. Hegarty a bit of catching up to do because of that DNF at Thruxton. Along there with Ben Holland, they're joint on 40. Ian Drown has had a good start to the season. He's got 24 points and 6 in 11th. There's an awful lot for the punters to do here at Donington World Superbike. Not so our sidecar drivers. They'll be focusing on one thing and one thing only. The 2.5-mile Grand Prix circuit. Well tried, well tested. I know it well. I'm sure they do. Let's have a look to remind you how Donington looks from the rider's viewpoint. Well, I've actually been round here in an F1 sidecar many years ago with Eddie Wright, so I know all about it. Coming down towards Redgate, back to about 3rd gear here, clipping the apex late, just there on that rumble strip. That's where the thing tries to spit you across to the left-hand side, out of Hollywood. Now, away down Craner Curves, hooking up its 4th, possibly 5th through here, staying left, back 1 for the old hairpin. Passenger getting right over to the right-hand side, using all the road, exiting by the rumble strip, getting back as quickly as you can under Starkey's, and now a slight ripple on the tarmac there, through Schwantz, up to McLean's, the right-hander. 3rd gear, McLean's, and this dip and then the rise up towards Coppice, the double apex bend at the top of the hill. We're at Coppice now. There's the first apex, go wide. Here's the second apex coming up. There it is. Now, head down, everybody tucked in. Passenger's head is well down, looking at the sidecar floor, 6th gear, about 160 before we come up to the foggy S's, down to 3rd, maybe 2nd. A slight kiss of the sidecar wheel as it finds air there, then over the top of the rise. We're on the Melbourne Loop, the hairpin coming up. Go in wide, go in wide. Temptation is to go around here too quickly, but you cannot. Get it straight, then get the power on. Driving up the hill, hard over to the right-hand side, because the next bend, the final bend, the left-hander of Goddard's, in we go. Passengers right out here over the rumble strip. It's 2.5 miles, and it goes as quickly as that. In our Spotlight feature, we try to bring you the big story of the race weekend. There could be no bigger story this weekend than the fact that we're here on the world stage with World Superbikes. You can see how much the appearances ratcheted up. This line of trucks from all across the globe are here with riders and bikes from the 4 corners of the earth. Of course, sidecars used to run at the world level in the World Championship with World Superbikes and MotoGP. So that was then. We aspire to be where they were. We've got rounds and ideas planned for the future, but we're going to be talking to a few people to give you some idea of how it used to be and where we'd like it to be for the future. I tell you, do I drop on my feet or what? When I said we were going to be talking to people steeped in World Superbikes, there's none better than the man who took the very first pole position here at Donington Park in the very first World Superbike race back in 1988. His name is Roger Burnett. He's legendary within the MotoGP and the World Superbike paddock, and he's taken two guys to world titles, Neil Hodgson and James Tozen for the double. Come on in, Roger. I'm delighted to introduce Roger Burnett. Roger, great to see you. The weather shines on us. You're back here.
Shines on us today, but wasn't it terrible yesterday? I felt sorry for everyone having to go out in the wind and the rain, but please, the sun's out, and I think it's going to be out for the rest of the weekend.
World Superbike as strong as ever, and as I said in my introduction to the Spotlight feature, we're thrilled to be here with F1 Sidecars, and of course they used to run with World Superbike before.
They did. I'm not showing my age, but I have the benefit of seeing sidecars at Grand Prix level, and the great world-class drivers of, like Steve Webster and Rolf Billand and those people, and the crowds adoring the sidecar outfits, running in conjunction with MotoGP. Of course, then what happened was everybody tried to improve safety. Sidecars were deemed to be things that dropped oil and disrupted the schedules, and so it kind of got dropped. And I'm so pleased that F1 sidecars are back at this level, because I believe there's a real requirement out there for the audience to actually get the opportunity to see the outfits. And I'm an avid spectator of all motorsport, and I love the movement of the guy, the passenger on the outfit. The work that guy has to put in is unbelievable, and I think the viewers love to see it as well. And I know we've been at British level, and this is an opportunity for F1 sidecars to step up into the world zone again with Superbike, and I think it would be great to have it as a consistent part of the package.
I think it's fair to say that some years ago the sidecar fraternity shot themselves in the foot because they moved away from the type of engine that the manufacturers were selling and were interested in. Now we're running contemporary engines, we're represented by all makes, so suddenly there's a strong manufacturer interest.
There's a great manufacturer interest because the engines are actually out of motorcycles and they are production-based engines, so they're great. I think the bodywork, there's so much more advertising opportunity because of the size of the bodywork. But actually being here at World Superbikes and being able to thrill the spectators and the TV audiences is going to be something to look forward to.
Brilliant. Well, I mentioned Neil Hodgson in my introduction to you, a man you took to a World Superbike title. He's around, and I'm hoping I'll catch up with him. He's just as chipper as ever, isn't he?
Oh, he's in good spirits, and he was talking to me this morning, and he said it's great to walk through the paddock without the pressure of having to perform and actually be nice to everyone instead of being miserable. And so I said to him, well, I'm pleased you realise how miserable you were, Neil, because you were.
We've gathered a few opinions about F1 sidecars running with superbikes, particularly World Superbikes. None better, though, I think, than the opinion from my next guest, former World Superbike champion Neil Hodgson. He's been there, he's done it, he's been all over the world. Neil, F1 sidecars do bring something extra to the programme.
Oh, do you know what? If I got £1 for the number of people that said, wow, the sidecars are here this weekend, they've got a real cult following. I've been a massive fan of the sidecars since I started racing. When I started racing, sidecars were big, and they've had a bit of a raw deal, if I'm being honest. And, the sport's taken, I'd say, a downward turn, and thankfully for, basically what you were doing and the championship, the profiles being raised, and it's getting back to where it belongs. And I know so many people are pleased it's here.
Well, there are one or two famous names from the solo world, John McGuinness, and I even hear that you're not off the pace. If we get you in a sidecar, you'll be there or thereabouts.
I would love to have a go. I'd like to have a go at driving one, riding one, and I'd also like to have a go at passengering. I've heard so many people that have been passengering say it's one of those. It's a life experience. It's almost like a bucket list thing. So if anyone's out there and they want to let me have a go at riding the sidecar and also passengering, I'm well up for it.
What about, let me put this in your head, what about another world championship on 3 wheels?
Wow, yeah, I don't think that's possible. Sidecars is way too hard. I know how fast those top guys are, but like I said, I'd love an opportunity at having a go.
Never say never.
Oh, I always say that, never say never. You never know, do you?
In my quest to get some valued opinion of F1 sidecar activity at World Superbike, I've been wandering around the paddock, as you know, bumped into none other than Simon Crafar, who coincidentally was the guy who took the last win here for Dunlop in MotoGP. Simon's been around World Superbike. British Superbike, Motor Grand Prix. Here you are, still in a professional capacity. First of all, Simon, what are you doing? What's Motor Voodoo?
Well, Motor Voodoo is basically a book and film I've made about how to ride on track. It's like a guide, I suppose, for people that want to know how to go faster, safer. But I'm here working with riders. You know, I'm an old washed-up rider myself, but I rode probably 13 years professionally, and I'm trying to pass on what I know and watch out on track and help the young fellas.
Do you think there's an opportunity for young guys who maybe can't afford to race solos, super sport class or whatever, to maybe team up and even run an outfit because it's very competitive?
I had to go for a bit, believe it or not. The sidecar guys I grew up with in the paddock invited me to have a go. I had to go both riding it, and which was the weirdest thing, because they're not the same as a bike. They don't feel the same when you turn right as left, you know, because of the chair on the side. But I think when you're into bikes, two wheels. But like I said, I'm right up for having the guys in the paddock. It only adds to the show, you know.
I made a reference to the fact that the F1 sidecar scene had been around the world before with World Superbike and indeed with Grand Prix. We've got a guy riding in our championship who was involved in that, Andy Peach, no stranger to those of you who watch the series. Andy, what was it like?
It was great. We've been in the doldrums for quite some time, and then a package came together that we'd be part of SBK, which included 2 flyaway meetings, one to Kyalami in South Africa, one to Phillip Island, so that made it all worth it. Really good times. Things went a little bit wrong sponsorship-wise after 2 seasons, but it was great 2 seasons.
Well, those are iconic locations, and that's long haul, so how did you transport all of the gear?
Well, crating, which really was a bit of a sort of, novelty to us. We're used to taking big trucks with everything with us, and then you suddenly got a crate that's 3.5 metres by 3 metres, and you got to get everything in, engines, wheels. It was tough, but we made it work.
And that was World Championship, wasn't it?
Yes.
So you've really got the top crews disciplined. They're geared up to be professional.
Yeah, I mean, at the time there was a bit more money involved, and it sort of worked its way up. So yes, there was a lot of us that were nigh on doing it full time, so that was why.
If we restricted it to Europe, let's say in seasons to come, if we restrict it to Europe, it's eminently possible that we could do something similar now.
Absolutely. I mean, we fitted in well with them, and it's not that far to travel, and it's not really much more expensive than riding in England.
So here and now, here we are, Donington Park with World Superbikes for the first time in a long time. You've unfortunately not had the very best of qualifying, but never mind, the weather's good, the sun's shining. I hope, and I'm sure you hope, this is the face of things to come.
I think there's going to be some good racing. There's 3 faster guys. Well, I say I'm faster, but at the back. So it's going to be an interesting race. There's fast guys at the front already, and there's 3 of us that got to work our way through. So I think it'll be an entertaining race for everybody. And yeah, I hope it looks colourful, spectacular, and what the crowds want.
Everybody seems unbelievably calm. You know, they've got 2 fierce races ahead of them this weekend with World Superbikes. Don't let that calm exterior fool you. They're like a swan, serene on the top, paddling frantically under the surface. We're going to take a short break. See you then. Bye-bye. Welcome back. Well, the weather on Friday here was absolutely vile, and that's where the qualifying took place to set the grid for Saturday's race. The sun on Saturday, very, very bright, so it was good. There's your pole position. Holland from Hegarty. Chaplow, brilliant in 4th. Lovelock, 3rd quickest. John Clark and Mark Edwards alongside each other on row 3. Then Gary Horsepole flying well on row 4 alongside Barry James. Ian Guy and Guy Ransley, and Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood. Row 7, Rupert Archer, Jason Grimes, alongside series owner Roger Body with Stuart Muldoon, his son-in-law, holding down the 3rd wheel. And at the back, technical problems means that Scott Laurie starts at the back alongside Ian Drown. Pole position it was, though, the very first pole position of Ben Holland's F1 career, passengered by Ashley Hawes this weekend. So many of the passengers are away on Isle of Man TT duty. Such is the camaraderie existing within the sidecar paddock. If there's somebody available, they'll jump in. Dipash Chauhan in the number 90 John Clark outfit. Barry James with Mark Howard, his new passenger for the remainder of the season. A serving soldier, as it happens. Gary Horsepole and Paul Napton, number 32. And at the back, having suffered some technical problems in qualifying. York Steinhausen and Greg Clues on the BMW, so they've got work to do. As Andy Peach said, 3 very quick guys right at the back. So off they went then. Ben Holland got the drop from pole position. He would have expected that, because when you go down to Redgate, you've got the drop, and there it is. He had his nose in front. Sean Hegarty, Callum Lawson, though, from alongside him on the grid, made it very clear that they wanted the lead, but the 2 Suzukis were evenly matched. The Q8 Oils of Sean Hegarty and the Finning Cat Suzuki LCR of Ben Holland and Ashley Hawes. On the inside, though, putting his nose through at Craner Curves, Sean Hegarty assumed the lead halfway round lap 1, and then, once in place, he pushed hard. Driver Wolf BMW, the reigning champion of Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence, their BMW now has found the speed they expected from it. They looked very good. Those 3 were already making a breakaway in race 1 here. It was late in the day, but the temperature was good. Track temperature was up. Roger Lovelock, having got the BMW flying, thought that a podium was on here, and he very swiftly galloped past Ben Holland and Ashley Hawes on the Finning Cat Suzuki, and momentarily they were up to second. Ben Holland, though, had other ideas. At the front, the Hegarty-Lawson outfit were just easing away, and at the early stages of the race they had something like a 4-second advantage from this battle going on behind them. Retirements were thick and fast. Gary Horspoll pulled Napton out of it, as indeed was Simon Gilbert standing there with the blonde hair. He'd retired on lap 1. He just doesn't get it. And then Steinhausen flew through. I remind you, he came from the back of the grid, Steinhausen and Clues. That BMW flew past Roger Lovelock's BMW as though it was standing still. It was not to be Scott Lorry's day. Passenger James Need looking through the fence there. They had had a mixture of electrical, spark plug and carburation problems, dogging them through qualifying and put them out of race 1. Meanwhile, Steinhausen and Clues really gobbled up Ben Holland and Ashley Hawes, and Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence now found themselves in 4th place. It pays to have your World Championship father on pit wall, doesn't it? Jorg Steinhausen's father there, Rolf, doing the pit board for him. A double world champion. He knows what it's all about at this sort of level. Another man coming from the back of the grid, Andy Peach with Aki Alto doing the business for him this week, was up to 5th, but you can see for yourselves just how far ahead the leading quartet was. Barry James and Mark Howard on the John Cable outfit. John Cable, incidentally, having recently had a mild heart attack. Happy to say, fully recovered and here at Donington. So good luck to you, John. Best wishes for the future. Meanwhile, Lovelock and Lawrence, down in 4th place, knew that Andy Peach was behind, but they had enough of a cushion to maintain that position. Hegarty and Lawson, just the occasional glance over the shoulder, they knew that Steinhausen was coming. He got to within 3 seconds at one point, Steinhausen, but then towards the closing stages, dropped away, and Hegarty-Lawson took a comfortable victory from the German-French pairing. That's the gap. Steinhausen and Clues over the line. Final place on the podium, Ben Holland and Ashley Hawes. Confirmation of that, there it is. There's your top 3, Lovelock and Lawrence. Andy Peach, as I said, in 5th. Mark Edwards continues to impress. Craig Chaplow from 4th on the grid gains 7th, 37 seconds adrift. Barry James, Ian Guy, well in the points. Roger Body, Brian Gray and Rod Robinson, 13th. The rest of them, sadly, were retirements.
Fantastic. You turned the wick up when you needed to. You knew what the gap was. That was a very controlled race. Well done.
Thank you very much. For a change, my pit board man, Mr. Lawson Senior there, was still with the pit board, because normally he's jigging around like a zebedee all the time and it's really hard to read. So he did good as well, so just keep reading it as well.
And Callum's coming out here. Come around behind me, Callum, or come through, whatever. That certainly was a nice, smooth race. You like Donington, it flowed well, and you really stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, I've done my press-ups now, and Mr. Eve, so there you go, see it next round.
Now listen, you said to me that you knew he'd be there, you knew he'd come through. Yeah. When he got within 4.5 seconds, did you think, well, that's it, I've got to go now?
You knew he was going to come. Jorg's always fast, but John was really good on the pit board. Like I say, I was plus 0, then 1s, then 2s, then 3s. I see it come down a bit. I don't know if he spiced it up by taking another second off my time, but just kept it constant, just try and keep everything smooth as possible and carry on.
I heard the PA commentators say that ride has put you in second place in the championship. I haven't done those sums yet, but if that's the case, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's today. This weekend is all about trying to catch Tim up again and get some points that we lost from Thuxton. So it's all we can but do is try and just hope if we get second tomorrow, it'll still be good. But I'll definitely go and try for first.
Well done, Callum. Well done, Sean. Brilliant ride, and race 2 to come.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, the Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar Championship certainly did not disappoint here at World Superbike Donington. The crowd stayed, the weather stayed, absolutely fantastic. And guess what? We've another race on the programme. We're going to take a break. Join us for race 2 shortly. Back to the grid for race 2. We've had 2 fantastic World Superbike races here, as well as our first sidecar race. Lovely weather, the crowd has stayed. A lot of people have stayed to watch this sidecar race. We've had a double British win in World Superbike solos. We've had 1 victory already for the Brits, Sean Hegarty, in race 1 in the sidecars, but alongside him on the front row for this time will be Jörg Steinhausen, who had a brilliant fight through. There's our pole position man. First race winner, Sean Hegarty. We're looking now for the BMW of Jörg Steinhausen and Greg Clues, who will be coming along round the outside. There they are, the number 2. So we're going to wander through now, make our way through. Third place on the podium, it was Ben Holland and Ashley Hawes. They're going to run fast at the front as well. So Ben Holland, Ashley Hawes. Then we've got reigning champions, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence on their BMW. Pressing them hard in race 1, Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett on the only Kawasaki in the race. They're sitting well in the championship as well. Andy Peach struggled. I left him when I left the paddock. He was there fiddling with his clutch, but he's here. Barry James, Mark Howard. Barry James had a bit of an upset in the first race, but he's okay. No damage, he's going to be okay. Ian Guy, mid-pack, new colours. Ian Guy, Ben Ransley, they're running well too. Good to see Ian Guy on the pace. Nobody in Roger Body's outfit. Roger Body standing by the side, he's passengered. Hey, it's Muldoon, Stuart Muldoon climbing in there. Ian Drown, number 170. It's a good grid. Rod Robinson, Nick Webb, number 10. They've changed to Suzuki. They had problems with the Yamaha. Over there, Brian Gray. Just swing around, have a look at Brian Gray. Brian Gray and Roy Farmer. One of the stalwarts of this game, Brian Gray, motorcycle dealer from High Wycombe. Scott Lorry, 5th in the world as I speak, has had a disastrous weekend here at Donington. Coming from the back of the grid, Scott Lorry and James Neve will have an awful lot to do. Rupert Archer, Jason Grimes, number 70 on that very pretty outfit. And just casting our eyes over the rest of them, moving into place, Craig Chaplow and Kay Zendevelt, John Clark and Dipash Chauhan there. John Clark had to retire because his wheel arch was rubbing on the sidecar tyre. They stopped him from smoke. I can't go further back. 2 boys at the back, 12 laps, 30 miles of Donington in the sun. It's warm. What a great race this is going to be.
Well, 12 laps then, Sean Hegarty, Callum Lawson. You heard it from Sean's mouth in the interview. He could well end up second, but he's going to go for the win. Well, of course he would. 25 points are up for grabs, only 20 for second. So if he finishes second, he's going to walk away with 45 points, but it ain't over till it's over. 12 laps. Watch the lights at the top then. Alongside him, and it was a sluggish start for Steinhausen. Hegarty got the drop. Ben Holland's gone with him, but on the inside, it's the German, Steinhausen, number 2, on the BMW, and he goes straight into the lead at Redgate. Jörg Steinhausen, World Championship leader after round 1, leads race 2 here at Donington after a runner-up spot. But Sean Hegarty's determined, and he's fast. He's on the inside at Craner. This is where he did Ben Holland in race 1, and he's by the German. He's past. Straight into the lead goes Sean Hegarty and Callum Lawson. So they lead 12 laps then, 30 miles of this Donington Park circuit. Hegarty's sidecar wheel just popping up. He's coming out of McLean's. Round they go. Hegarty leads, Steinhausen second, then it's Ben Holland, then it's Roger Lovelock, Andy Peach in there as well, very much in the hunt this time. There's Mark Edwards, Andy Peach right behind him. Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett on that green Kawasaki are flying this year. Watching the action, they've got the beauty, the benefit of the pit wall cameras here. They can see what's going on. John Lawson watching his son Callum hold down the third wheel. There's Chaplow, number 73. Steinhausen just shadowing Hegarty's every move. Up to third. Is it going to be third for Roger Lovelock? But it's Ben Holland, Ashley Hawes on the tight line. Ashley Hawes wearing the leathers that he wore to his World Championship victory with Tim Reeves. Tim Reeves away on Isle of Man TT duty. That's left the field open, and open it is. Through to the lead goes Steinhausen. Back in front then the German French pair. Oh, Scott Lorry! Scott Lorry's got it sideways. A massive crash. He lost the back end at the end of lap one. His misery goes on, and he's still underneath the outfit. Marshall's running to his rescue. Is there going to be a flag? Is there going to be a safety car? Not at the moment. Scott Lorry and James Neve coming from the back. Here they are. Too much corner speed going in. The back end just broke away and catapulted James Neve into the air. He must have been doing something like 70 miles an hour when he hit the ground running. Just look at this. Look! Airborne. There's no way he's going to keep up with that. And underneath the outfit, Scott Lorry. Oh, James Neve went down heavily. Here it goes again. And Mark Edwards, Lee Barrett, so lucky to avoid that, as indeed were so many of the other crews. Whew, that's left it clear for this four at the front, I can tell you, because Scott Lorry's crash has really slowed everyone down behind. He was making a bid for 5th place. That would have put him in touch with this leading quartet, but it was not to be. It's all ended in tears at Goddard's. Look at the gap now this quartet has. Next man through, Andy Peach, is in 5th place. 4th place for the reigning champion, Lovelock and Lawrence, sporting new livery and new sponsors on their outfit. Riding, looking back from Ben Holland and Ashley Hawes. Great shots, absolutely great shots. You can see how the passenger works here. That foot just dangling in fresh air. Now down he goes, because there's a left-hander coming up. He listens to the engine note change. That's when he knows how to pop up. Oh, a wobble there from the Driver Wolf BMW of Rick Lawrence. Up the crest, up the rise they go towards Coppice. We're at Coppice now. Chaplow and Case Endervelt. Craig Chaplow out of it. That's a shame. 7th in race 1. And a problem here. I don't think they were involved in any way in the Scott Lorry incident, but certainly a mechanical problem has put paid to their race 2 here. Riding with the 4th place crew, but still out in front, and Hegarty has not given up by any means. Sean Hegarty cannot spell giving up, I can tell you that. He cannot spell retirement. He cannot spell slow. He is very quick indeed, and he's in 2nd place here, but he wants the 25 points. These guys, the championship is slipping away from them. They are the reigning champions, but any chance they got of retaining it, I think, is vanishing as the races go by. This is race 6 from the 2013 program. Round 3, race 6. They did very well with 4th place in the first, so that would have picked up 13 points. These guys from pole position took a 16-point podium place, and they are in yet again a 16-point podium place, which will really enhance their championship push for 2013. 2 BMWs in the top 4, 2 Suzukis in the top 4. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence just shadowing now the Ben Holland Ashley Hawes pairing. Just watch the antics of Ashley Hawes, one of the top passengers in the world, the reigning world champion passenger ahead of us. There's nothing in it, you know. This is a close race. The gap between Steinhausen and Hegarty, just about 1.8 seconds. Hegarty has not let him get away. The BMW is very quick in a straight line, 225 kilometers an hour through the speed trap. So that's quick. Talking of quick, Steinhausen posted a 1:35.129, setting a new lap record in Saturday's race, and Hegarty in this one has gone 1:35.7, so he's almost at lap record pace. Hegarty, he is not going to let the German get away, and they're being urged on by John Lawson in the pits. And you heard Sean say how John gets so excited he waves the pit board about, but I tell you what, second place now here is up for grabs. I think Steinhausen is easing away. Hegarty and Lawson dropping back a bit, almost into the clutches of Ben Holland and Ashley Hawes. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence very much in touch. They smell a podium too. They're just going to keep the pressure on the Finning Cat Suzuki, the distinctive yellow and black Finning Cat Suzuki of Ben Holland, who's having a very strong 2013 season indeed. One of our young guns, Ben Holland, a lot of promise. It's fair to say, and they'll be the first to admit it, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence at the other end of the age spectrum, of course. Been around for a long time, former British champions in years gone by, but they were delighted to win this Eastern Airways title in 2012. Looking back from Holland, where is Roger Lovelock? Camera obscured by Ashley Hawes, but you can see them now at the Foggy S's. The driver walk BMW into the shade here now. Cloud just popped over the sun there momentarily. Catching up on the brakes, so very quick into the Melbourne hairpin. And the BMW drives away nicely. It finds traction up the hill. Yeah, Holland can smell second place here. He's going for 20 points, I can tell you. There's your race leader, Jörg Steinhausen, Gregory Clues from France, currently leading the world, currently leading race 2 here at Donington Park after a runner-up spot in race 1. They won't be doing all the British Championship rounds because of the inevitable clashes with their World Championship campaign, but those that they can do, they will do, I promise you. That BMW streaking away now. BMW in the lead, BMW in 4th, Suzuki 2nd, Suzuki 3rd. And now Hegarty has put the hammer down again. He's stretched the gap between himself and the 3rd place Holland. There you can see the times. That time Hegarty did a 1:35.5. A 1:35.5, he's really on it. There it is, 1:35.526. He's flying, he's closing the race leader down. So he's only just marginally off that lap record pace set yesterday by the man ahead of him, Steinhausen and Clues. So BMW plays Suzuki. Who's that out of it? That's Andy Sloan out of the running. That's a shame. Andy Sloan was passengered by Mr. Pawsey this weekend. Little wave from him. It's a shame. Philip Sloan, by the way, recovering from a broken arm sustained at Thruxton when he was tossed out of Roger Lovelock's outfit. He was one of the passengers, of course, to crash in a big way, but he's here. He's pinned up. And look at that cycle. You can see just touching the brakes because these Sidecar outfits have brakes on all 3 wheels. And he was obviously braking in that left-hander because the Sidecar wheel was locking up. Top 6, I'll give you. James is in 6th, ahead of him Peach, then it's Lovelock in 4th. The Holland, Hegarty, Steinhausen battle unfolding on the screen in front of you. Race leader, Jörg Steinhausen, Greg Clues, deep into the race now, seem to have the measure of Sean Hegarty and Callum Lawson, although you could still get all 4 of them almost in the back of a long articulated trailer. They're close. Sidecars this weekend, I have to say, have delivered closer racing than the World Superbikes and indeed World Supersport. Tom Sykes having won both World Superbike races by the length of the start-finish straight. Congratulations to Tom Sykes. And similarly, the World Supersport race was won by Sam Lowes by an unbelievable 11 seconds. So the crowd's being treated to some close action. We've got 4 outfits almost on the same piece of tarmac here. Steinhausen, Hegarty, there's Hegarty. He has closed visibly. The gap now something like 6 machine lengths, and Hegarty Lawson closing on the back of the German. Lovelock closing on the back of Holland.
it's anybody's podium, I can tell you. The race win, I just have a feeling in my water, is going to be decided between Steinhausen and Hegarty, but the final place on the podium, very much up for grabs. Greg Clues, an impeccable performance from the French passenger. Teamed up with Steinhausen for his second season. Of course, prior to that was with Tim Reeves in World Championship. But Greg Clues acknowledged as one of the best passengers on the world scene. Out goes the board. That's Andy Peach's mechanic. Paul telling him he's in 5th place. P5 he's got. And we're riding with Andy Peach and Aki Aalto, the Finnish passenger who, of course, was with Johan Reuterholt in this championship in 2012. Reuterholt taking something of a sabbatical this year, just riding at the odd club level and maybe dipping a toe in the water occasionally at World Championship. But Aki Aalto, the likeable Finn, having ridden 2 rounds with Barry James, has stepped in with Andy Peach because Charlie Richardson, another of those passengers, racing in the Isle of Man TT. Brave boys, aren't they? Peach looking very good. He referred to himself as one of the faster drivers at the back, and of course he is. No need to be modest when you're that good. Hegarty, 3rd place. It's Holland, number 60. Ashley Hawes then, race leader Steinhausen. Hegarty now right with him. He's on the back of the German. He's in a 20-point place at the moment. Callum Lawson, no sign whatsoever of the arm pump up and the problems he suffered at Thruxton. I think we can safely say that was a one-off. Brilliant action on pit wall, so the crews on pit wall can see what's happening all the way around the circuit. It's not just a question of waiting for the crews to bullet out of Goddard's. Look how close they are, this top 4. We're going to take a short break. Don't go too far away, it could all change. Welcome back to Donington. Status quo prevails here, and by that I mean the standard, not the rock band. And look how close Hegarty is. He's right on the German now. He smells top step of the podium. Sean Hegarty, number 33 on the Q8 Oils. Animated pit crew here. Come on, Sean, go for it, they are saying. The German taking the wide line in at the bottom of the hairpin. Sean Hegarty taking the tight line in, of course, but that leaves him at a disadvantage when it comes to driving out. Up the hill they go. The Suzuki definitely seems to have the BMW matched for power and speed. The Suzuki of Ben Holland and Ashley Hawes still very much in touch, because Ben Holland knows, young he might be, but he's a seasoned racer. He knows that the 2 at the front could touch, there could be contact, anything can happen, in which case Ben Holland and Ashley Hawes are perfectly poised to pick up the pieces. Has Steinhausen responded? He's stretched out a little bit again. We're at Craner Curves with Sean Hegarty. This man is quick. He's gone into a very strict training regime to reduce his body mass. He said that openly in interviews. Was a little bit portly, if I can use that word, when he came to us last season, but by golly, how he's responded. We've definitely got a champion here in the making in the shape of Sean Hegarty, because the man ahead of him might be scoring big points right now, but he's not going to be here at every round, just as Tim Reeves is not here this weekend, and that's why Sean Hegarty has to make the most of it. Into the sun they go, up towards the foggy S's, down to about 3rd gear, maybe even 2nd, through here, popping the wheel up on the curb, hitting the rumble strip on the way out. Now watch the diverse lines as they come over the hill down towards the hairpin. It's Hegarty on the inside. He's going to go in tight. Can he get it stopped? Sweeping around the outside, Steinhausen and Clues, getting a smoother drive up the hill. But now Hegarty's in a good position to dive up the inside of the German as they approach Goddard's. Is he going to make it stick? No. It's tight again. Greg Clues, oh, look at this. He's really got it. He's sensed blood now. He knows this is going to be close. It's going all the way to the wire. Where's Ben Holland? There's Callum Lawson right over. Callum doing a great job this weekend. Credit where credit's due.
Ben Holland and Ashley Hawes have broken the toe from the 4th place Lovelock and Lawrence crew. We have tail enders now, back markers. That's Rod Robinson and Nick Webb just moving over, doing the polite thing, but Sean Hegarty's caught them. He's got a bit tangled up. That's allowed Ben Holland to get on the back of him. Can Holland get through before we get to McLean's? Yes, he does. Ben Holland, Ashley Hawes caught Sean Hegarty. Rod Robinson proved to be difficult to pass for Hegarty. The BMW of Steinhausen bulleted through. Hegarty had less luck. Rod Robinson now is between Ben Holland and the 4th place crew of Roger Lovelock. Hegarty's closed up again though. He's made amends. If we could see through the visor, and we can't see through Ben Holland's visor because it's tinted, but if we could see the eyes of Sean Hegarty through that visor, they would be piercing a hole in the back of Jörg Steinhausen's outfit. Steinhausen now taking a defensive line, riding the apex tight, but the BMW pulls up the hill. Visibly, it eased away up towards Goddard's. The left-hander here, in they go again. Hegarty Lawson, he's putting Callum right across the grass, making the most of everything here. Look at Ben Holland, he's trying every trick in the book to get the Finning Cat Suzuki on terms, and he's looking good as well on the last lap. 2.5 miles of Donington Park to do. Steinhausen has responded. He seems to have done enough now to ease away. Riding with 5th place Andy Peach-Akialto on the L&W Racing Suzuki. Nearly didn't make it to the grid. Andy Peach had clutch problems when everybody else was filing out onto the tarmac. He still had the fairing off and was fiddling with it. Down the order, everyone getting the last lap flag. You can see in the back of your picture there, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence on the Driver Wolf BMW, still in a very safe and comfortable 4th. It won't be comfortable for them because they want a podium, but at the front, you can see how the podium is shaping up. Through the foggy S's they go. Steinhausen from Hegarty. Is there anything left? A look over the shoulder from passenger Callum Lawson. He knows that Ben Holland is far enough behind not to be a threat at this stage. Holland going in wide, Hegarty staying tight. There's your top 3 coming up behind. One more tail ender. That's Brian Gray and Roy Farmer, number 7 on the Yamaha LCR. The High Wycombe motorcycle dealer just being lapped. 12 laps, no disgrace here at Donington Park. There they go for the checkered flag. It's Steinhausen by a fraction of a second. It looked about 0.8 to me. I'll give you that as we get the caption, but Holland and Ashley Hawes, a double podium for them. They will be thrilled. And a second consecutive 4th place for Roger Lovelock. Race win though, number 2, Steinhausen and Clues. Chased all the way by Hegarty. They'll be thrilled with that. Hegarty will be pleased. He's got 45 points. Half a second adrift, that's all it was. It looked like 0.8, but it was less than that. Lovelock 4th. Holland, of course, completes the podium. Peach, Edwards again, another consistent ride from Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett. Barry James was going well. Archer and Grimes there in 11th. Gray and Farmer, Rod Robinson lapped.
Well, there's already drama. Fantastic performance by Sean Hegarty, but under the rules of this championship, he's been nominated to have his engine stripped, so he's under a bit of pressure. We might not be able to get an interview with the runner-up, but we can certainly get an interview with the race winner here, and I'm going to ask the question, what does it take to make Jörg Steinhausen smile, and that's top step of the podium? Well done.
Oh, don't smile. Yeah, it was okay. It was nice race, close as we wanted for the spectators, and enjoyed it very much. Beautiful weather, nice bike.
Nice bike, fast in a straight line, isn't it?
I think Hegarty was quick on the fast line, on the straight line, wasn't he?
He was very fast. You were both very fast.
Okay, yeah. Quick bikes, very competitive, serious. So yeah, that's why we come here. So.
Well done. That was a fantastic victory that made up for runner-up spot yesterday. Well done indeed. Going to keep on moving across here because Greg Clues is working. I'll let him just lift that clear because it's not the easiest thing in the world to lift the fairing off, but he's going to move away with it, put it down, and hopefully I'll get a couple of words with Greg. Greg, well done. Top step of the podium. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's been a great race. Yeah. We managed to finish first. We had a big fight with Holland and Hegarty. That's great. So I just want to say a big thanks to the organization and all my sponsors. So it's been a great weekend with the World Superbike here.
It's a real pleasure to see you back here in the UK. You're back again. Anyone that doesn't clash with the world?
Yeah, we should come back for a few rounds at Silverstone, Assen, yeah. No, because it's a great championship, so we need to be here. Yeah.
Well done. Good to see you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Here they are. You can't hide Ben. Come out, Ben Holland. Absolutely brilliant. Double podium. You had to work for it, but you were right there, mate.
Yeah, I'm a lot happier with that one than yesterday. It was once again tough work, but yeah, we lost a bit of ground off of them about halfway through the race, but we managed to find the rhythm and slowly caught them back up, and we were there or thereabouts at the end of the race. But
I thought for a minute the tail enders might give you an opportunity. You had to wiggle your way through a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of where the first one worked out for us. We managed to gain a bit of ground on Sean through Rob Robinson, but it's a tricky part of the circuit for anyone to get out of the way. So we played to our advantage, but Brian Gray in the last corner, he was able to get out of the way, and he didn't help us out, unfortunately. But yeah.
Ashley, well done. You worked well together. Enjoyed the weekend?
Yeah, it's been brilliant, to be honest. Pole and qualifying and podium both races. Yeah, you know, be nice to get a win, but 2 podiums is brilliant for the weekend, to be honest.
This is a good friendly camp, isn't it, here?
Oh yeah, it's an awesome camp. Yeah, well looked after and well fed and watered, so no, it's spot on.
Has it whetted your appetite to come back again?
Oh yeah, I'm always going to be around, but we'll see what happens.
Good luck. Well done, both of you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I'd just like to say a big thank you to the team and Finn and Cat, Rhino Engineering, This Accident Repair Centre, and Dr. Adept.
Well done, excellent. And more to come. Knockhill next up.
Yeah, just like so, we're trying to aim for the top spot there.
Well done, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, Sean Hegarty needed to catch Tim Reeves up. Reeves will be back, of course, for Knockhill, which is the next round. So 15 points the margin. Andy Peach well in third. Mark Edwards, Ben Holland there, just 1 point adrift in 5th place. Barry James consistent. Lovelock and Lawrence 1 step further down. They're the rest of the runners, you can see. Andy Sloane's got a couple of points there in 19th. His brother will be back for Knockhill.
Well, I didn't think we were going to have glorious weather like we have now. It's the end of play here at Donington. World Superbikes provided the perfect backdrop, and these boys did us proud. They really showed the crowd, they showed the organisers, the FIM, more to the point, just what sort of racing we can deliver here in the Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar Championship. Sean Hegarty not available for an interview because he's right down into stripping the engine now. That's part of the rules, that's the way it goes. Nothing will be found with that engine, I'm sure. He's a very, very quick rider. Jörg Steinhausen and Greg Clues go home happy. Ben Holland, well, he's enhanced his championship no end. Well, from us at Donington, hope you enjoyed the action. It's been a terrific weekend. Next time we see you will be at Knockhill. So take care in the interim. God bless and thanks for watching.